Let's go.
So we got this. Sorry for jumping. I'm so excited, man. I can barely contain myself. So we got bringing in the heavy here. Got the Venza expert. He's been watching a lot of YouTube videos on this. Now, let me give him a little introduction. I just called him in from the green room. Okay.
Did he have any special requests while I was waiting? Like brown
M&Ms.
M&Ms?
Yeah, it's a good thing he can't hear you right now. But he's 10. Still probably knows more about this car than both of us put together. So here you go. Go ahead and put those on. Grab a seat right there. Welcome, Major, to the podcast.
Hey, guy.
Can you hear
How's
Jay?
it going? Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, how's it going, pal?
Good.
Good, awesome. We're excited to have you on the show today. This is a first for us guys, for you listening out there. But Major he's a heavy hitter, man. He really is a heavy hitter. He does his homework. He loves cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves cars. So we're going to talk about the Venza today, and I'm going to let you guys kick it off.
Yeah, so it was your idea. It was his idea, not mine. He said, you guys should talk about this. And the more we looked into it, we went, oh, yeah, there's a lot going on around this car. So we're looking at it on screen here. Let me pull up my notes about, we've got some, so you don't know this, but I went and watched a lot of these. I read up on this thing. I watched some of the videos that you were watching. Jay and I both kind of did our homework here. What is it? And I've got $1 million question for you at the end of this when we're done. But why do you think this car is going to be a big deal?
Well, it's totally redesigned. It looks a lot better, and there's some really cool features that it has.
Okay.
Like what's one of the cool features that you think is a heavy hitter?
Well, they have it's sort of like a sunroof, but it doesn't open, and it has two parts to it, and you can frost it.
So let's get into a couple of the specifics on this car, and then you can comment on some of those if you want. Did you know, and that is a big one, they're very proud of that roof. It's a glass roof, but it doesn't open.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Did you know? Go ahead, Jay.
They call it Stargaze fixed panoramic. Is what they call it.
And they borrowed from Mercedes, where you can push a button and it instantly chroma tints. It's like those glasses that you wear that are what do they call those? They change outside the eyeglasses. It'll tint the glass when you push a button. Right.
It's pretty. To be on a vehicle like this, it's usually reserved for higher end vehicles like a Mercedes, or Bugatti, or something like that.
This is an interesting play because they're stepping a little bit into Lexus territory with this car, which of course Toyota and Lexus are sister companies. But I think their timing actually might be right because of the economic changes that we're seeing. Mm-hmm. Did you know, Major, or Jay? Jay probably knows this. Do you know where this car is made? Mm-mm. It's made in Japan. Did you know it's out in Japan now? It's based on what they call the Harrier.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And they're rebadging it here as
they call it it was called the XU80. Is that right? Is what that is in Japan?
Yep. Made in Japan, just like my FJ, right?
Second generation is the XU80. Yes, that's
okay.
It's a rebadged Japanese market, and so Major, I got you. Do you know why we are so excited about the fact that this thing is being manufactured in Japan?
Yeah. Do you know why that matters?
Great.
You have to actually say something.
Well.
Great quality control.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot tighter quality control that goes into their assembly plants over there. They have tried adopting that over here, but it's a standardization conflict, and that's why it's so hard to make those ends meet. So I personally, when I go seek out, if I'm buying an Asian market vehicle, I would prefer to buy it from, and I know there's going to be people getting mad at me for not buying American. Well, it's a Japanese company, and
They're
you know,
moved. They like the Camry is a good example. That they have plants
That's in
here in the United
Kentucky.
States where they build them right.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm gonna buy an Asian manufactured vehicle, some of the stuff like that FJ, it's just built. It's more reliable if it's made in Japan.
Well, and I
Yeah.
have heard that before. Better
From
quality.
from people other than us, right? Other than Dad. So now this is I guess technically it's a crossover. It's got the hatchback, whatever you want to call that, the fifth door, I guess is the popular term now.
Yep.
It's going to be a hybrid only. The only version of engine configuration you can get in this car is a hybrid, and there's some interesting things about that hybrid.
Yeah.
That was not the case in the first generation, and they discontinued that in 2015. Now, did you know, Jay, Major, you probably remember this, when we were looking for my wife's current car, she's got a 2017 Lexus RX 350.
Yeah.
On our list was the first generation Venza. Even though it was not being made, we were going to go buy one that was a couple years old.
Huh. I did not know that.
Because it's in that same class of vehicle as the RX.
Yeah. When the Venza originally came out here in the States, when they were building it here in the States, the first generation, when you look at that vehicle and you in comparison, I just kind of automatically think Pacifica, right?
Yeah,
like
I can
wagon.
See that. Yeah.
So it was real refreshing to see Toyota take the elements of their Lexus family and bring into this thing. I mean, I put in our notes that they have basically thrown everything in this thing but the kitchen sink, man.
So that's a good point. So this thing is, I think, and I mentioned this a little bit ago, you're going to appeal to people that may have bought the Lexus. Now, this is a smaller car. It's a smaller vehicle than the RX 350. So that's a factor. It's bigger than the RAV4. It's smaller than the Highlander.
And
that's right. It's right in
because
between.
It's smaller than the Highlander and just bigger than the RAV4. It has the power control, the steering wheel.
So they're giving you a
Highlander,
Lexus feature,
most
which is the
Highlanders
motorized.
Don't.
Yeah, you get that. See, that's a Lexus feature. You normally had to buy the luxury line to get that motorized telescoping steering wheel. Yep. And they're giving it to you in a Toyota.
Well, there's so many other things that you're getting on this vehicle in the the limited package.
Yeah, now that's an important point. So there's 3 different trim levels. To get some of this stuff, you got to go into the top level, which is their limited, right?
I think that glass stargaze roof.
Yeah, right.
Yep. And I think that let's get into some of the details. Let's talk about it. Do you want to run down a few of the things?
Yeah, so here, I'll just throw them out. You guys talk about them. So you're getting power seats on both sides in the Limited. Again, luxury line.
8-way on the driver, 4-way on the passenger.
There you go.
Jeez.
So it's 2 rows of seating, not 3. There is no third row option.
It's a luxury vehicle. That's what they're.
Yeah, you're getting the elite. This is why
they're-
they don't want you talking about price until it drops, because they're going to do what we're doing here. Everybody's going, hey, why would I? Let's look at this instead of a Lexus or or a, I don't know what.
I think they're going to come in with a. Yeah. Well, I think they're going to come in with a robust offering. I really do, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. Right now, with the COVID, if you have money to purchase a vehicle, right now is the time to do it, man.
It is, and I was watching. A journalist talk about this car, and he said, "I have been driving an NX. That's the Lexus. It's slightly smaller than the RX." Mm-hmm. And he goes, "I drove this Venza, and I like it so much better. There is stuff in this Venza." And I'm looking at our 3-year-old RX, and I'm going, I'm kind of mad, man, that we didn't get that in our luxury car.
Because Toyota, I've noticed the 2021 concepts are what they think they're going to come out with.
Right.
Is taking a lot of stuff from Lexus.
So that's kind of common. It hits the luxury line, and then 3 or 4 years later, it'll trickle into the... right?
But
the consumer line.
Wouldn't you agree, Major, that for Toyota to do this, to start kind of using some of those design elements is going to favor them because that's a really good look.
So
I think that Toyota needed the change.
Yeah, if they can price it in the just under the luxury line, it can be a little bit more expensive than, the traditional kind of RAV4. And I think you'll still sell them because people that would normally be looking at a Lexus are going to go, oh, well, I can have this one with the same stuff in it for $5,000 or $7,000 less. Right?
Exactly.
So it's got the LED lighting, which is typically reserved for your luxury cars, right? That's another feature. The glass roof we already talked about. It's their Stargaze fixed panoramic. It's got the frost mode with the touch of a button is the way I've seen it described. Yep. Now, this is cool. The backup camera is built into the rear view mirror. I have that on my FJ. I love it. Okay,
it's awesome, man.
They're
so
also
great.
giving you a top-down 360-degree camera. Now, I have one of those in my truck that I added, but it shows up on the infotainment screen as you're looking down on the top of the vehicle, and you can see everything around it.
That's insane, man.
It is.
That is great technology.
There it is right there. So, and truck companies have been using a version of this, like to see through the trailer if you're towing a trailer when you back up.
How do they do that? How does that work?
It's a very wide-angle camera lens, and they usually put two of them together, and they're both 180 degrees, and that gives you the 360 total.
Yeah.
And then there's some CGI, there's some computer imaging that goes in. Now, these probably have more cameras than just two, and it's combining all that imagery.
Well, I'll tell you this, the premium sound system in this thing, it's a JBL.
Yeah.
It's got 9 speakers in it, and it has a subwoofer. 1,200 watts. Toyota said it's the most powerful sound system they've ever put in any vehicle they've ever manufactured.
So again, giving you a premium experience in a vehicle that's not even as expensive. I wouldn't expect it to be as expensive as a top of the line Camry.
Right.
Let's talk about the infotainment system. Now, this is you know where I'm going with this, right?
I do. I knew you were going to go there.
As far as I know, this model year is the first model year that you're going to be able to get factory radios in Toyota automobiles with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
This one
has those features, and I'm telling you, compared to our 2017 RX 350, which has their own version of it's horrible. This is so the way to go. You've seen my Android Auto. What do you think about that? It's the way to go, right? Let Apple and Google manage your infotainment.
Oh, I love it. I think it's a great idea. I mean, you're appealing to every person out there when you put something like that in a vehicle because everybody has a cell phone these days, whether it be an Apple or a Android.
The one thing I'm not super thrilled about, and we'll see, but the tactile buttons that you typically get with a radio, and what I mean by that is if you push a button, it actually goes in and it's spring-loaded. It's all just touch. It's like the screen of your smartphone.
I'm not real big on that.
And they've gotten rid of the radio knob.
Right. I mean, I'm a knob. I like
it. It has worked for like 60, 70 years. Why do we need to mess with that? 50 years.
Yeah.
Why do we need to mess with that?
Yeah.
It works.
It works. I don't know why they're doing that, but whatever. It's just some of it may be a little over the top, but that's okay. We'll see what happens. Maybe it's cool. I don't know. When I buy one.
Yeah, right.
When I buy one, yeah.
All those nice things. Toyota hasn't said anything about the price, I don't think.
Right. You're not allowed to until July 22nd. So we don't know where it's going to land. Now, the heads-up display.
Yeah.
See it right there? So it's giving you... basically, the idea behind this, for those of you that don't know what a heads-up display is, it projects some basic information onto your windshield. And it'll be things like your speed, possibly your fuel gauge. The idea is to keep you from having to look down at your gauges. You just keep your eyes on the road. And it superimposes that over your field of view. Yeah.
It's, some people don't care for that being in front of them. It might be somewhat of an annoyance, but I think it's at nighttime, man, when you're driving, I think is where it's really most handiest. I think, because you really need to keep your eyes on the road. It's a good feature. Now, this heads-up display, they say it's a 10-inch display.
Is that the HUD, or is that? Oh yeah, it does show 10 inches. So yeah,
it's
so
10
you're
inch.
talking.
So on the infotainment system, the standard across the board is an 8-inch display, but when you get into the limited, it goes to 12.3. That's a big infotainment screen.
That's everybody's going this direction. You know, we talked about Ford doing it in their F-150s, coming the 2021s. So it's just the way to go. Thanks Tesla.
Like the Mach-E has the huge.
Yeah. So
everybody's going that way.
It's the trend. We all want big giant screens. So, okay, let's talk about what's under the hood and attached to the wheels a little bit. So, one of the things that I found interesting, this car is smaller than the first generation Venza, right? And it's lighter.
Right.
I think the reason they did that is because they're going all in on. So Toyota has historically said they're not really pushing the EV envelope.
Right.
They're not playing heavily in that space. They're not trying to get noticed as an electric car manufacturer. They're going hybrid, and then I think maybe they're hedging their bets on hydrogen.
Yeah, they have 10 models, I think, that use this same technology, I think.
But it's hybrid.
It's hybrid,
right?
Exactly.
So that's as far as they're willing to go in the EV side. This is hybrid only, lightweight. They're touting around 40 mpg average.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Like
the rear wheels are electric only.
Yes.
Meaning that front wheel drive, so that small engine that's powering the internal combustion side of this is only providing power to the front wheels.
That's right. And you have two motors on the front, and then you have the one motor on the back, and it's independent of anything. There's no drive shafts, guys. This is a Toyota technology.
Right.
Which is pretty awesome. From my understanding, the way I read it, man, we're talking 219 horsepower.
And
that's
not bad. You know, it's a smaller car.
It's a small car. I mean, it's not a race car, but that's a good amount of horsepower. It's going to get you through traffic, no problem.
But it's all-wheel drive.
But it's all-wheel drive. It says 80% of the power can be sent to the rear.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's of course, because it's electric back there, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
So
pretty cool.
You're going to go all-wheel drive. Now, it does, if I'm understanding this right, has an electric-only mode. Their EV mode, right?
So there's an EV mode. Yeah.
It'll tell you like how much range you have left on the electric only.
Right. Yeah. It's
was there any specs on that, Major? Did you find anything did they give a range on a fully charged battery? Do you know? I couldn't find anything.
I would bet they're hiding it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I did find out, though, that it is a lithium-ion battery.
They're under the rear seats.
They're under the rear seats, and they're small.
Yeah, so you're not going to get more than maybe by themselves. If I had to guess, I'd say 100 miles tops.
Yeah, which furthermore really kind of solidifies what you were just saying, which is they're not really more pushing towards that fully EV market.
Yeah.
And you can see that in this design. You know?
But they're keeping it lighter this way by not adding huge battery banks, right?
That's right, exactly right. So you still get, you get to enjoy some savings on fuel, and you're helping the environment some by not being all gas all the time. So that helps tremendously.
So any features that jumped out at you that you were like, wow, this is the coolest thing about this car?
Well, this isn't a feature, but I wanted to say it. How you can tell it's an EV is it has the blue.
So the Toyota logo on the front, if it's their hybrid line, they use that blue. It's the same Toyota logo, but it's blue.
Yeah.
And I've seen pictures of that.
There's probably folks out there that did not know that. But yes, any of their hybrids, they will have that. Is there any other manufacturers out there, Major, that do the same thing with their EV logo? Make it blue?
I don't think so.
Yeah, some of them I think they put like maybe green. There's like green in it or something.
Right.
Or,
I've seen.
I forget who.
Does maybe Nissan on the Leaf?
Nissan.
Yeah.
That's it. So those are little things that people, if you're driving down the highway, that Major points out that you could know immediately if it's a hybrid by the blue logo or the green logo for Nissan with that. That's what it is.
The styling on this thing, if you haven't seen it, it looks very similar to the Lexus design philosophy, where the front end's pretty aggressive, lots of LEDs in the headlights. The front end really looks more like a Lexus than a Toyota.
One thing that does stand out is the design. It's really sharp, really nice.
It doesn't look like anything else in the Toyota lineup.
It doesn't look like it would be a Toyota.
Right.
No, it doesn't. The only thing that, if you look at the design of it, there's one thing like towards the back quarter panels. It looks like it kind of got bunched up there with that design. I don't know if that was why, if there's some internals that they couldn't have made that a little bit more of a softer line there and not have that big hump to where it just kind of blends into the back fascia there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's got kind of a wide, a little bit wider rear end. Yeah, I don't know.
But maybe they did it just to be a little different, maybe. The couple of things, I think that the standard models, like your LE, I think comes with 18-inch wheels.
Right.
But I think that the limited is 19-inch, so they're not getting larger than 19, and they have these chromium alloy wheels that are really good looking.
A little bit narrower in wheelbase than the previous gen. I think 3 inches narrower.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's a great looking car.
I would own it.
I would too. I mean, just a lot of the features, the creature comforts, which is something that we've been talking about on our podcast
Heated
lately.
Seats, air conditioned
technology.
Seats.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Fold-in mirrors, power fold-in side view mirrors.
When you lock it, like...
Yeah, so the people that love to ding your doors can't rip your mirrors off. I mean, that's all stuff that we don't have on our Lexus. So here's the $1 million question, Major. If you had a choice between our car that we have now, the 2017 RX 350, or the limited version of the Venza, clean. I mean, if mom actually cleaned hers up and washed it once a year, something like that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, which one would you rather have? This is smaller.
Definitely the Venza.
Why?
I just think it looks a lot better, and there's just all those cool features.
Which one would you rather drive when you turn 16?
The Venza.
Really? Even though it's not a Lexus? Yeah. What does that tell you, man?
There you go. I mean, that's it, man. I mean, that's a sale right there, pal.
I think this is what they're doing is they're selling the car. How many times, Jay, have we talked about you don't buy a car for the technology, right? Well, now you do.
Yeah.
Now look, they're not even letting people talk about what's really under the hood and how it handles and how it performs.
Guys, honestly, they have really hit this thing out of the park with this thing. And I'll tell you what, one of the things that I look at when you see these images here of the interior, there's leather.
This is the same stitching that we have in our Lexus.
That's exactly what I was about to
Dual
point
mode
to,
climate control. Same thing we've got in our Lexus.
Ambient lighting, man.
Yeah.
On the interior of this thing.
Same thing we've got in our Lexus.
That is usually reserved for luxury vehicles.
You just keep naming stuff, Jay, and I'll just keep sitting here going, yeah, it's the same thing we got in our Lexus.
Well, and because this is a hybrid, that electric motor is under the rear seats.
Well, that's... the batteries are under the rear seats, right?
Yeah, the batteries.
Yeah, right. That's right. Yeah, I mean, I want to see it in person. I really do. Because it is hard to tell size in pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not at dealerships yet. We've got to wait a couple months on that.
I hear by the end of August, you'll be able to see them on the showroom floor.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're going to be doing any reserving sort of stuff like some of these vehicles have been lately. I don't think that's what the case is. I think that they're just going to make the things and ship them.
Yeah,
and
the pseudo reservation. Yeah,
it's
it's really not in that category of reserve
right.
years. I mean, they don't
right.
even really
like,
do that with like mid-level Lexus vehicles.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. It's, maybe they could have gotten away with it. I don't know, but I'm so glad to see them do something different.
Now,
I mean,
I agree. They had to. So whoever made the decision to like take this risk, I hope they get rewarded for this.
Give those guys, kudos, man. Yeah.
Would you buy it in Halloween orange like that Corvette?
Probably not.
Would you buy that Corvette in Halloween orange?
Yeah.
Would you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
There you go.
Huh? Well, it looks like you're driving a Corvette and a Toyota. Key. Yeah.
So how about some social?
You're gonna be broke.
So yeah, right.
You're gonna be broke.
So how about some? Well, I don't know, man. If he starts his own influencer channel and does car reviews, I'd rather watch them than ours.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
I'll lug the camera around.
Yeah.
Why don't you? You know what our website is? You want to give out our website? How can people find us? What's our website?
PartsCounterGurus.com.
Yep, that's right.
Awesome.
That's right.
That's it. Yeah.
Jay,
you want me to run? Yeah.
You
so
take it from there?
Yeah. Thanks, Major. Appreciate that, guy. PartsCounterGuru.com, as Major just said, and from there you can link to our podcast. There's a podcast link tab up there. Anything that we mention on these podcasts that we put up there for purchase, you can purchase it through that. Just click the mention on the podcast. If you want to follow us on social media, we're everywhere really, but we're on Facebook.com/Parts Counter Gurus. We're on Instagram.com, The Parts Counter Gurus. We are now on Twitter, and our Twitter handle is @TheCounterShow. So please check us out there, if you will. When you go to any of those pages, follow us, like us, tell a friend, share. All that helps us out. We also have this neat little media channel over on YouTube, and you can get there by going to youtube.com/Parts Counter Gurus, and there you will find tons of DIY videos, product reviews. We actually have segments of our podcast over there on the YouTube channel. But let me tell you, when you guys are over there watching that stuff, man, we would really like your subscription, and give us a thumbs up and ring the bell. That is so important to us. Remember, it is priceless to us and free to you. We need you. So thumbs up, tell a friend, and all that sort of good stuff. And
if you do it, people will do it. If you do it, people will do it. There you go.
Thumbs up.
That's right.
So Major, we've got a mission for you afterwards. You have to let everybody know that you're going to be on, and the only way that they can listen, they have to subscribe.
There you go.
That's a must.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is your first podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it what you thought?
Yeah.
Is it kind of what you thought?
Kind of.
Are you going to listen to it when it comes out? You make mom turn it on when you're driving in the car?
Probably.
I love it. I love it. Nah, you should listen to it, man. We want to have you back on sometime. So
yeah,
you know a lot about cars, and that's pretty cool.
This is my research assistant.
Yeah, I know. Well, he also drives us.
Yeah.
I mean, folks, you guys need to know. I mean, Major is out there doing the research all the time and saying, "Hey, Dad, you really ought to talk about this car here."
This Venza was his idea. I sold Jay on it. So we've got a couple coming up here. I'll mention in closing. We've got the Bronco. We're going to podcast on that as soon as the Bronco officially gets released or unveiled, however you want to say that.
I just wrote a little piece over there on our website. Go check that out about it.
I saw that. Yep. That'll be exciting. Is there anything else on the horizon I need to mention before we close?
Oh boy, man! It's just always so much, man. I can't keep up with it.
Just follow us on social media.
F-150. I mean, we got just so much stuff, man. We got the Mustang Mach-E coming out soon, and going to be on showroom floors. I mean, gosh, and I want to get my hands on one of those and drive one.
You think you could talk one of the Ford dealers into letting us do a review on one?
Yeah.
He does this. He goes to dealerships, and they all know him, and he's just,
Book it. You book it. Set that appointment, sir.
Yeah.
I'd be excited.
We'll see what we can do. All right. So, everybody, thank you so much for watching, subscribing, telling a friend. Check us out on our website, like Jay said. Thumbs up. Yep. We live and die by those subscriptions on YouTube. I was trying to think of who to introduce first. So, I'm Keith. Everybody probably knows that. This is Major over here.
That's Major.
That's Jay way over there. Until next time, I'll leave you with, you know who Mark Twain was? Okay, you will soon. He's a famous writer, an American writer. He's a novelist.
Do you know who Jefferson Airplane is?
I'd probably say no to that. No.
Okay.
Yeah. From Missouri. From Missouri, Mark Twain. Yeah. Mark Twain said, "The two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why."
Oh.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Take care, guys.